Check, check. Check. 1, 2.
You say so, Greg. I'm going to take your word for it. But, trust the verify. Yeah. You ready, Renee?
Almost. All right, I had everything up and then it all went away.
Yeah.
We are ready, Mr. Smith.
Okay. All together, a special meeting today and public hearing by the Architecture Review and Planning Board on Tuesday, August 26th, 2025 at 8:30 a.m. Renee, would you do a roll call, please?
Mrs. Power. Here. Mrs. Orthwine.
Here.
Mr. Glennon.
Here.
Chairman Smith.
Vice Chairman
Vice
Smith
Chairman
is here.
Smith.
Here.
Also the president participating are Town Manager Dunham, Assistant Town Attorney Nazaro, and myself. Absent with notice is Paul Lyons and Bob Doherty.
Thank you. Are there any additions, withdrawals, deferrals, or arrangements to the agenda this morning?
No, sir.
Thank you. We can dive right into the public hearing. Is there any declaration of ex parte communication to be made? No, hearing none. Renee, would you administer oaths to all those who may speak today?
Stand and raise your right hand. Swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Peter, are you here? Yes, go ahead. We'll get started.
Sure.
This is, as you remember, a deferral from the last meeting and a submission primarily dealing with the second story on the proposed.
Perfect, thank you. I think before I start, I think Steve would like to say a few words.
Oh,
The
sure.
owner, just introduce himself.
Thank you. First of all, I do want to thank you. I know the August meeting was not on your agenda and you are accommodating us and we really appreciate that and thank you. I did not have a chance to speak at the last meeting. I didn't expect to, honestly, at the last meeting. But I wanted to spend just 1 minute, number one, thanking you, introducing you to myself and my wife, but also give a minute of background of how we have gotten here for the proposal that's before you. I should start, and I'm speaking to an audience that agrees with us. We love Gulfstream. It is a special place. We really enjoyed it. We're excited to be part of the community and our family for a long, long time. When we bought our house back in October, we knew we were going to have to go through a substantial rebuild. The house is in tough shape. And for us, and maybe for everybody building a house, but this is the first time we've built a house from scratch. That was a very daunting, emotional task. We were lucky enough to meet Peter and the rest of the team here, and we got excited about building this house. We spent a lot of time thinking about the aesthetics, the architectural nature of the community, the desires of this board, as well as the wants and needs of our family. We thought we were going to get approved last hearing. We had spoken, or Peter had spoken to Trey. And so it was a little bit of a surprise and it was disappointing. I didn't understand the issues as I was sitting here in the hearing room last meeting. And so when we went back, I was hoping it would be small tweaks to the house to get to where we wanted, and realized that to do what the board had asked us to do would substantially impact what we were hoping for in the home. And that was disappointing. That's when I wrote the letter, which I think you've now seen from Trey, having a different interpretation of the regulations. I understand that our interpretation was not embraced, and we're not asking you to reconsider that. But that put us back to the drawing board where we've now sat down with Peter and come up with what we are now excited about again. We've gone through a lot of ups and downs on the emotions, and we're really enthusiastic about what's before you. We've made some of the tweaks that the board asked for as far as screening in the back corner, moving the facilities. We now still have a modest second floor. We think it is a beautiful home, and we're hopeful that this board will approve it. With that, I'll turn it over to Peter to give the details.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. As you mentioned, we're really excited. Most of you saw the design. Do you want me to run through the presentation again, or just go to kind of the elevations with the changes, Vice Chairman?
I think we can just go with the changes.
Okay,
They're substantial, we know, so.
Perfect. Yeah. So let's, Renee, if you don't mind, just cycling through the slides, and we can kind of stop at the elevations. Perfect. Let's stop there. So just looking at these are the line drawings, the 2D elevations. Again, the simplicity of the design, essentially we relocated the second floor from running east to west on the north side of the property to above the main section of the house, still keeping the symmetry and using a dormer design to diminish the impact of the second floor. We're still below our overall roof height. And in comparison to our neighbor across the street to the west, even though we have to be 2 feet higher, our roof height is slightly lower than theirs. So we feel that the proportions, the scale, all the charm and the beauty that we had in the original design that was well received was maintained. On the second floor, we have 2 bedrooms and a little sitting area. If you go to the next one.
Sorry, the PDFs don't work well.
That's okay. Looking around the north and south elevations, you'll see these are now 1-story elements on that wing, which it was 2 stories last month. The next one, please, Renee. Just the cabana remained the same. Next. Looking at the 3D modeling from Polo Drive, this is with landscaping. You can see the arrangement of the building form with the central mass, using rectangular configurations with careful step backs, both horizontally and vertically. This results in a simple roof geometry and keeps consistent with the neighborhood character. Additionally, we've been extremely sensitive and diligent to account for the increased BFE, both as it relates to the new design and especially as it relates to the adjoining neighbors. Next slide without landscaping. Next. Again, this is a view directly at the front door with some landscaping. We've employed a very simple accentuated series of details, a wood shingle roof, simple wood fascia, emphasized by 24-inch overhang, exposed raked wood rafter tails with a tongue and groove soffit. Traditional exposed copper gutters and downspouts will complete the eaves. Next. Without landscaping. Next one. And I think this is where the new design really emphasizes the strong architecture. You can see the 2-story was in the background and now it is over the central mass. The detailing maintains the same palette with the rear facade opening up more, showing the generous outdoor space and covered loggia. That was one of the elements that Steve and Robin wanted right from the beginning, was a large backyard with a lot of outdoor space, covered space, and we maintained that. Renee, next one. That's without landscaping. I'm just looking at the details. As I mentioned, the roof pitch has a 712 and it is a wood shingle tile. Windows are traditional clad wood impact, double hung, utilizing mutton bars to divide the glass appropriately. We have a combination of colonial and Bermuda style operable shutters that are correctly sized for each window. We have a smooth stucco wall finish with the stucco windowsills and trim. The color scheme will be simple. The base stucco color, trim, railings, columns, windows, and doors will all be white, and the shutters will be a dark blue. Next one. Just emphasizing our overhang, exposed wood outlookers, and tongue and groove soffit. Next. These are just the line drawings with some color on them. Next. Thanks, Renee. Next one. As we mentioned last month through our design process, these photos represent commonly used Anglo-Caribbean styles and details that we've taken as our inspiration. Next. Next. Just simple floor plans. As I mentioned, the first floor is for predominantly for living, for Steve and Robin, the master bedrooms here and the main social spaces. Next. You'll see the diminished second floor. It's really evident on the slide. It's in that attic space with dormer windows, 2 bedrooms and a small sitting area. Next. The simple roof plan. Next. This is our study indicating percentage of openings at each facade. We're well under the 40%. I think the most we are on the rear is 29%. Next. Next. That concludes the changes architecture. I'm happy to take questions, or Dustin can kind of give you some updates to the landscaping.
Can we go to slide 14, or page 14? So I appreciate, thank you for making the changes. So thank you for that. The way that I look at this is there's a lot of roof lines going on. There's a lot of eaves. It's quite busy from the front. So per my count, I come to at least 5 eave line, maybe 6, depending on how they get calculated. And I don't know exactly what counts or what doesn't, but it's things like the garage doesn't line up to the eave line on the right side of the house, right? So those count as separate eave lines. So I think the code says no more than 4, but you've got 5 to 6, depending.
So I think we have 5, and I think the interest in that breaks up a flat facade. I think one of the challenges to mitigate the height difference, if we'd raised up the garage to match the height to reduce one of those eave heights, you would have such a steep driveway. I think this is the first house that has the elevated FEMA regulation. So I think with breaking it up into those, I think it creates some interest in that it makes it looks a little more cottagey rather than just some vertical facades, flat facades.
I know you said that about the driveway height, but we have several houses that are well above the 8 feet that have their garages up with the house. So I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, I look around and I see examples where that is not the case. So.
Okay, I appreciate that. And I think being at 9, we have to be at 9 and the road is at 1. That's an 8-foot difference.
Yeah.
Over 25 feet.
You
Yeah.
drive a little south on Polo and you will see several houses that are naturally on a ridge.
Right.
And their driveways are very steep and they go up. So.
And we didn't want that initially. We felt that was imposing to the house and it made the house seem like it's sitting on the hill. By stepping it down, we feel that it'll be more ingrained and layered into the landscaping.
And then can we talk about the gables and sort of that boxiness that's created? So you've got those gables that come forward. Candidly, to me, it kind of looks a bit like we've got a colonial sitting in the center because it's got these gables that come down and then, these attachments on the side. What's the thinking on having those gables that stick out so far?
So the main mass of the house, the proportions are, if you go to kind of the next slide, I think front on is probably better, Renee, the next one. So the main mass of the house is portion A. It's with the gable and it contains that. And then next to that, you have what we call hyphens, the little connections to the next mass. So instead of having a huge facade, the idea is to break it up into proportions. So you have your main mass, A, your hyphens, and then your B masses on each side. It's kind of a a traditional way to break up an elevation rather than sometimes what you see out of Gulfstream where it's just a big flat facade. So the idea is that there could have been this original house and then maybe it was added on, but it's an easy way to break up what would be just a very big mass.
How many different depths are there along the front facade?
So right on the front there, we probably have about 7. We've lowered that entry 1.5 feet. So we have 3 steps inside the house so that we wouldn't have 9 or 11 steps up the front. Our goal was to have a very muted driveway. That's where we wanted to start from the street. We wanted the driveway to look similar to what it is today rather than the steep up. And then you see in these more traditional homes where there's an entryway, we didn't want a formal procession. We wanted something a little bit more casual. So you have these welcoming walls with these stairs. That's the entry is lowered. You go into that entry and then you step up 3 steps into the main house. So we try to mitigate that as well.
You're stepping inside that front room again?
Correct.
Can I see how that happens?
Sure, if you go to the floor plans, slide. You go to 29, there we go. So if you zoom in, you can see where the entry is, Mr. Smith.
Oh, okay, the foyer then.
Yeah.
From the foyer into the living space.
And then the living space is all on one level with the backyard. It was just another way. Again, I think you'll see it as future homes come here. It is really challenging to get from elevation 1 to 9. You know, if we could build this lower, I think we would have liked to, but we have no choice. And I think the Ellises were kind enough to allow us to drop that entry to mitigate 1.5 feet to 2 feet.
So you kind of cut the elevation in half with the driveway. The driveway's going to come up 3 or 4 feet maybe.
Come to about elevation like 4,
Yeah, and then
4.5.
another-
Then we go
another-
to 6.5 to 7, and then from 7 to 9 in the house. Correct.
So there's 2 feet kind of from the foyer up into the main home.
Yes.
Okay.
Otherwise, we felt that the entry would present even larger from the street.
Is it a copper roof over the lanai on the back or the?
That is correct.
Okay,
Yes.
yes, the pitch.
Correct. Yeah, good. Yes, sir. We also thought it would add a little bit of interest from the backyard. We employ copper as a detailing and as a patina, as we like the natural finish to it.
So Trey, we have a couple questions here. Are we all right on the roof lines? Are we at 5 and that's the max?
So for 2-story homes, 4 is the maximum. So I know that he mentioned that there were 5, so we'd need to just work with him to figure out how we could maybe put another, incorporate one roof line into another.
One less roof line.
That's correct. That's a eve line. Yes, sir.
Any suggestions how that could be done?
I mean, we'd prefer not to, but there is, if you're amicable to it, and I need to discuss it with Steve and Robin, if you go back to the front elevation, on the right-hand side, we have a guest bedroom with a little box-out bay. We could raise that up to match the other roof line, and that would eliminate one. I think it's detrimental to the street and the character, but I'm, willing to compromise if that's the direction.
Well, I kind of agree. I think the step down on the right side and the garage, you've done the same thing on the garage, does help.
I think
The
so.
massing, the feeling of massing. I don't know if architecturally it would probably look okay, but it's probably less massing this way, Terry, than it is with the roof line. But he could raise the guest area up.
Correct,
same
yeah.
pitch as
I would still keep the box bay, so it would still have that step in, but I think by raising it up, I think you lose the feel. Again, we want to work with the community and the town, and these codes have been challenging for us to navigate. I prefer not to, but I'm happy to work with you. At one point,
any questions, Michael?
I know one of the things we brought up last time was the electricals in the back going into the setback. Are they going to be serviced, I guess, off the side of the master bedroom now, the cabana?
Correct.
That's what they
Thank
got
you for
moved.
bringing that up. We moved all the equipment to the north side within the buildable area, so there's no equipment in the setbacks.
Yeah, everything is.
Everything is
north
within
of
the buildable
master.
area, correct.
I know you touched on this briefly last meeting, and I apologize, I wasn't here. I watched the video, but could you review the retaining walls and how you're handling the changing elevation in a little greater detail?
Sure. Let's go to, I think, Renee, sorry, if you go to one of the earlier slides. Let's see if that's easiest. Keep going earlier. I want to go to a site plan. Let's stop there, I think. So again, one of the easier non-successful designs would have been to put a retaining wall around this whole property and to raise up the whole grade. Trying to be sensitive to the street, we're on a corner, and to the neighbors, we've raised just the middle part of the house. So just where the house is and where the setbacks are gets raised. We have some steps that go down. So grade along the north side and along the east side will stay the same. So from a drainage point of view, from an impact to the neighbors, from landscaping, that grade is existing. The homeowners, essentially, that to get to that, you'd have to go down some steps from the buildable area down into those areas. I think it was a good way to be sensitive to the neighbors and for drainage not to be impacted, because one of the problems when you have houses that are higher compared to the existing neighbors is you could have serious drainage issues, and we've seen it in other jurisdictions where the whole lot gets raised up, the water pressure influences them. So by approaching it this way and having a drainage system, we're having an exfiltration system here as well. We 100% feel that the neighbors will have a better drainage system than they do now and will never be affected by rainwater or the construction.
And do you have two retaining walls along the south side?
So we have we try to do as minimal as possible, but on the south side, we have a retaining wall because it's a 4-foot high maximum. And we have to, and then there's a step back, and then there's another smaller retaining wall that'll be hidden by landscaping. Just, we need to get up to a grade height of about 8, and the road there is at about 2. So we do a 4-foot wall that's screened, landscaped, and then beyond that will be another hidden wall to get us up to the grade height that we want.
Did you change some of the landscaping along the north and the east side? It looks like maybe palms or a great big tree in the northeast corner, did I see? I'm
Yes,
sorry.
sir. Good morning, Dustin Mizell, Environment Design Group. We were asked in the last meeting to consider putting a specimen tree in the northeast corner, and we added a nice sea grape tree, which we thought would be really nice. The other comment was about the synthetic turf, which we worked through staff at the specification sheets, but I did bring a sample. Along the north side, we'll call it our dog run. It's a nice, it's called Olive Blend, and it looks really organic because they actually put brown thatch in here, which resembles real grass, and it drains better than real lawn. So those were kind of beside the equipment that Peter mentioned, the tree in the northeast corner, and the sample as well. Those were the 3 major things we focused on. Thank you.
I have some samples
So
of the wood
I don't know
shapes.
what the sheet is. It's L 4.0. It's just going to be east-west and just all north of the master bedroom area.
Yes, sir. It's on the north side. It's
Okay,
not,
there you go. That,
yes,
just,
sir.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not going to get any sun over there.
And in that corner is going to be a large sea grape tree.
Yes,
How
sir.
large is that tree going to be?
20 feet
Okay.
overall average. It'll be a specimen piece.
So we've got, we have the issue of the eaves.
And maybe a note for us, I mean, I think that houses like this are going to become more and more common as people have to continue raising their houses. And I don't think we have a tremendous amount in the code around how to handle that. And I appreciate the challenge you have between raising the elevation. I think there may be people who feel that the result looks a little busy. There's a lot of walls. I think it's beautiful. But I think there may be work for us to do on kind of fleshing out going forward how to handle situations like that.
I agree. I personally feel that it just looks very busy. And when I think about the aesthetic in Gulfstream, this looks different than the other houses that are here. I understand that, you know, we're dealing with, you know, new rules. And I don't know that I'm not an architect. I don't know that there are any other ways that it can be handled, but it has a different feel than the traditional houses here in Gulfstream. So for me, on a personal level, I don't think this is, you know, as aesthetically pleasing, but I understand, and it's a personal choice, so, you know, that's not my job, right? And I don't know how we're gonna handle it going forward, because I do think it could fundamentally change the neighborhood. So I do think we have to talk about that.
I think, again, one of the easiest things would be, and I hope you don't see it in some of the spec homes, is just to build the house there. I think by layering it, by planting and creating the stepping up, I think you're mitigating the effect of, imagine the house is, the bottom of the house, if I'm standing, I'm 6 foot, the house level. And so how do you mitigate that? And we wanted to be sensitive to the street. So I appreciate your comments. I really think this is going to be one of the houses that people are going to walk by and think, wow, they did a really good job.
Does for the rear setback, I guess, does the cabana is defined as a minor accessory structure? Is that how?
Under 300 square feet, yes, sir.
Okay.
And it has a slightly less setback.
So it's busy across the front.
Okay.
But I also think it's very attractive. There's these notches that go in between the garage and the main body of the house, and also on the other side. You described those as that's part of the
It's
architectural
hyphens,
style.
correct. Yes.
I mean, as opposed to filling them in and making it usable space.
Correct. It's just to provide a breakup of the massing, so we don't have an 80-foot or 90-foot wide mass. It's a circulation between one room and another, and it's employed in successful architecture.
Oh, I think you have done a really great job of working from 1 foot to 9 feet. That's a tough thing, and I agree with you. I think we need to address how we're going to do it. They've done it with retaining walls, and you're bringing the driveway up about 4 feet and then another 4 to 5 feet into the house. There's a house where they ramp up pretty quickly to 7 feet or whatever, and I don't know if that's all that good either, because the driveway's like almost too steep to keep a car on. So we've got some choices here. One would be, do we push back on that one eave? Do we make them bring the roof line up on the right side there, the guest wing, to eliminate that? Or is there any other alternative that could be done? Peter,
originally we had the garage higher up, the garage mass, but through working with staff and I think with the town comments, we brought that down, and I think it was successful to do that. Otherwise, it would have presented a lot larger. If the homeowners are okay, and then if the board wants to, I can raise that guest wing, that eaves, and eliminate the eaves. I don't like it as much, but I would,
I agree with you. I think so too. I'm just thinking we've got codes that we're responsible for abiding by code, and if we refer it to the town, I don't want them to say we should have caught something too. That's just a sitting area, it looks like. I'm looking at the floor plan off that guest room.
Yeah, that little bump out area, correct.
I don't know if it would look better if it was wider and higher. It's kind of breaks it up a little. You know what I mean? If you just brought that out, it's just more mass. Terry, what do you think?
I think I hear you. It's a challenge. I don't know how to overcome that.
Yeah.
If that gets us over the line, I think we're willing to do that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think it's going to make it bring more mass.
I
to
think
the
so
front
too.
of
And
the
remember,
home.
it's on the corner of the lot. We wanted
Yeah.
kind of, you'll see it, being a corner lot also presented challenges, but opportunities as well. The house right now is exposed.
Mhm.
And so we wanted to see, as you drive around it, that you see that side of the wing, and you can see our retaining wall started further east, so we could expose that corner of the house. It's a 1-story, and I think it would look good.
Would you just go up with the same, interior size?
I
to
think I would.
match the
I would
roof, or
like
would
that
you
step.
would
I
you
don't
s-
think I would widen it, because I think that would just get a little wider. I would stay the width, and I would just go up to match the other eaves. So at least we still have one of the horizontal bump outs.
That may tie in. Would that peak be higher than the peak over the garage, or right now it's about the same, it looks like?
I think it would, the peak, if you go to that elevation, keep going. I think the other way, Renee.
Yeah,
It wouldn't be higher than the peak behind it, because the peak behind it is a wider footprint. So it would just, I would just raise the
You
eave
just
height
bring
to
it
match
up.
it, just to match that eave, to eliminate a step down. So if I can point on the screen, I would just take this up to here,
Right.
and then you would have one roof line. You would still see the peak in front of that express gable, but this would just go up, this would just go up. We would keep the motif in the center.
Trey, would that seem to eliminate the 6th?
I mean, if that's, we're taking him saying how many eaves there are, and if he's saying
Yeah.
that it's eliminate one that he counted, then, that's.
Okay, I don't think that's a huge, actually looks better like this, but it's busy across the front, and it's we're building a brand new house, and it's hard to have variances when you're building a brand new home.
Agree.
Any other questions or comments? We prepared to move forward with that change, or? Yes? No?
I do
Hey,
have a
Greg.
question and not related to that.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Greg.
Yes, I mean, can you tell me again how you're going to meet our code with respect to drainage and retaining all runoff from the first inch of rainfall?
Absolutely. If you look on the last sheet in your package, we have an extensive civil engineering drawing with 2 retainage exfiltration trenches that guarantees the first 2 inches of runoff are maintained on the property.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I see it.
All under the driveway?
It's under the driveway, and then under the northeast corner, you can see the hatch pattern. So essentially through gutters,
Right.
our downspouts are, thank you. I think also going back to the steep driveways, it doesn't help flooding the roads. The
Right.
water lands on those. The steeper it is, the more water floods your public roads. And I think, again, having done this
No, it's good.
for lots of years, it's definitely better this way.
Anyone prepared to make an motion? Or?
I'll make a motion to recommend approval of a demolition permit to demolish the existing single-story residence. We need.
Renee?
I need a second.
I second.
I'm sorry.
Mrs. Power,
Yes.
Mrs. Orthwyne,
Yes.
Mr. Glennon,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith.
Yes.
Make a motion to recommend approval of a land clearing permit to remove some of the existing vegetation to be replaced per landscape plan.
Second.
Mrs. Power,
Yes.
Mrs. Orthwyne,
Yes.
Mr. Glennon,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Smith.
Yes.
Motion to recommend approval of a level 3 architectural site plan review for construction of a new 5,910 square foot partial 2-story Anglo-Caribbean style single-family dwelling with a 2-car garage, swimming pool, detached 300 square foot 1-story cabana, including new landscape and hardscape with 717 square feet of artificial turf, based on a finding that the application meets the minimum intent of the design manual and applicable review standards with the following conditions. Any minor modifications to the approved landscaping shall be submitted to the town manager for review and approval, and any major modification shall be brought back to the ARPD review for approval prior to commencement of landscaping. And we will address the eaves and bring it down to 4 eaves total.
Sure.
Is that it?
Yep.
Okay.
That's great.
We know what to do.
Is there a second?
Oh, second.
Mrs. Power?
Yes.
Mrs. Orthwein?
Yes.
Mr. Glennon?
So it's conditional on fixing the, yes.
Vice Chairman Smith?
Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
It won't come back to us again. It'll go through Trey. You'll work it out and then it'll go to the town.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
We'll get that
Which
done.
is,
We'll get that
I
done this
believe
week.
it's Thursday, Renee. It's a Thursday, September
It is
11th.
Thursday, September the 11th,
And
We'll
it's-
get that to you this week.
4:01.
Okay.
I'll email you.
Thank you. It's beautiful. It's just, we're working with regulations and you'll get another chance to talk with the town. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. I don't think that there is any items by staff,
No, sir.
items by board members. There's no public here. We are adjourned.